Welcome back to Building Together. My name is Colin.
And I'm Julia.
And today we're talking Star Wars. Now, in January, I did a video on why I have never purchased my own Star Wars Lego sets. And I'm not going to tell you all the reasons why, but I will say that it's not because I don't want to buy Star Wars Lego. I like Star Wars. I like Star Wars Lego. And last night, Julie and I were talking about Lego Star Wars, and she had perhaps the hottest of hot takes. Well, I can't do it. So tell them what you told me.
Star Wars is ugly. Now, here's a little context. I consider myself a casual Star Wars fan. So, like, on a scale of 1 to I hate Star Wars to 10, I'm obsessed with Star Wars, I would say I'm a 6. I like Star Wars, I've watched it multiple times with my family, but I don't love it. I think that's important to the conversation because if you really love Star Wars, the movies, then you're going to have a lot more invested in, a lot more connection to these ships and things where you can remember the moments in the movies that you loved and all of that. I'm coming at this just from the visual appeal of the ships. Now, while I think there are a couple of appealing Star Wars Lego sets, like Dagobah, the Ewok Village, in general, the sets on Star Wars themselves are ugly. Like, it's got a trash compactor.
Cute!
These dull hallways, whether you're on a ship or
Sleek.
in...
Efficient.
Whatever, a station, whatever. But the ships are the worst. They are so ugly. They're blocky, they're drab, they have zero appeal. Nada.
No. They are, in many cases, interesting, creative, use nice angles. They look alien when they need to look alien. They look intimidating when they need to look intimidating.
I will say, there are definitely times where they use very nice part usage. And they have some interesting techniques. But to me, that's not enough to overcome the look. And I don't think it's Lego's fault. I think it's just the design of Star Wars. It's just how they look in the movies. They're just mirroring what they see in the movies. It's not like Lego is coming up with these ideas originally.
Okay, so not Lego's fault, but these sets, these ships are iconic for a reason.
There are a lot of people who like Star Wars Lego. And if you want to play with them, I totally get that. You know, you're a kid, you can zoom them through the air, you can act out the scenes from the movies, make fun sound effects. Okay, but Star Wars sells really well to adults as well.
Yes.
So why do they like these ships?
As I said earlier, they are creative. They look like alien ships look alien. The TIE fighters look so intimidating, and they have just this this appeal to them, the way that they're designed.
I was at a bit of a loss to understand what the appeal of Star Wars is. So I went on a forum where the question was asked, why do people like Star Wars Lego? And Brett Martin from Brisbane, Australia said it's nostalgia. I'd like to read his quote here. It says, when I was a kid playing with Lego and watching Star Wars, I used to imagine, man, I wish there was Star Wars Lego. That would be the best. Then I grew up, numerically, and Lego brought out Star Wars Lego. Now every time I see my UCS Millennium Falcon in my custom glass coffee table display case, it brings back great memories of childhood, Lego, and Star Wars, and just makes me happy. That's nice. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who have a lot of nostalgia. When I think of nostalgia back when I was growing up, I think more of the friends that I went to the movies with, rather than actually engaging with the movies themselves. So I think nostalgia can play a big part.
I think there's more to it than that. So we're going to do a little activity. I've come prepared. I'm going to show Julia some of the recent sets and other iconic ships, and we're going to see what she thinks about them. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Alrighty. Okay, alright. So Question is, Julia, do you like this Star Wars ship? Ready, number one.
Okay, this ship is the epitome of Star Wars ugliness. Like, look at that thing. It's got just ugly, bare plates. And they're massive. Like, well, let's just slab a bunch of studs there. It's so ugly.
This looks like a battleship. It's like designed like a modern warship for space. It has a massive, intimidating appeal to it. The angles are like penetrating, like it just cuts through the air. It's an engineering marvel.
And that has nothing to do with how, like, when you go to war, you're not trying to be like, oh, let's make this look cool. You're like, how can this function?
But it still looks cool. I love gray. This is good. It just, the design is so nice with the angles. It just has all these different sight lines in the back, the different contours of the ship.
Nope.
All right. Number two.
All right, the public gunship. Okay, so now we're getting away from the gray. We've got some interesting colors. I don't love the colors, but at least it's not boring, I guess, color scheme wise. But just like, it just looks awkward. Like, I don't know. It's not exactly blocky. It's just awkwardly shaped. Like, what are those shapes? They're weird.
Awkward shapes give it character. The angles of the ship and the way the wings are give it a sense of uniqueness. The color
unique.
The color combinations, I think they're refreshing, and I think that they go well together. A little bit of the green in there. This is good.
Good.
All right.
It's ugly.
Number three.
The Razor Crest. So we've been watching The Mandalorian, and I really do enjoy it. But the ship is ugly. Like, again, we've got these weird shapes. We've got pieces that are stuck on there to make, like, all these weird things that are on the ship. And you're just like, what?
Look, I will grant you that it's not supposed to be the most beautiful of ships, but the yellow striping on it
is... yellow striping? Like, let's just slab some random color on there.
And as a Lego set, I'm drawn to this. I like this. I don't have $650 to spend on it, but I am drawn to the ship. The massive engines just have this appeal. The rounded front, the slight angle at the top of the cockpit. It's like, it calls to me. I don't know. What is wrong with you?
No appeal.
All right, next.
Okay, so the Justifier. Now this one, actually, I don't mind so much, and I think it's the black and gray kind of make a little bit of contrast, but still, like, go together. But I'm going to be honest, I think the box art really makes it look nice.
Well, I don't really like this ship all that much. I haven't watched The Bad Batch, and I think this is a terrible value for a Lego set in terms of the regular retail price. So I can't say I'm a huge fan of this. Maybe her point about nostalgia does ring true a little bit, because I have no connection to this particular ship, but I wouldn't call it ugly. All right. Let's do the next one.
All right, so this one is very imposing. You know, if you're looking for a bad, intimidating ship, I'll grant you that. That's it. That's all I got.
That's all you're gonna get. I mean, a black ship like this looks intimidating. That fits what it fits what its subject matter is. I love this dark, transparent cockpit where it adds to that fiery look to it. Just little sprinkles of other color throughout, I think, helps. And again, like, just those angles, I love that. It just, as a Lego set, it's
but then it
creative.
just comes, when it really comes down to it, it's still ugly.
No. Okay.
The N1 Starfighter. So, I mean, it's a ship. It's fine. If you like ships, then okay. I don't like ships. They just don't do anything for me. They're just okay.
This is so sleek. I see this and it's like of another world, and the creativity that goes into this. And yes, I know that it's gray. I like gray, but look, I just see those angles. I see just how curved it is, and I just can see it just cutting through the air and just hyper speed, and no one's going to catch it. I think it's a fantastic looking ship, and you completely disagree. Okay.
I mean, it's not bad compared to others. Just
all right. Not necessarily a ship, but the Death Star.
So when the Death Star came out, I thought it was really cool. And I think part of that is, like, it's a sphere. Like, I'd never seen a sphere in Lego before. So that was cool, and you've got these guns on the top and stuff. But when you start actually, like, looking at each space, you're like, what is it? It's just some pieces slabbed together. Like, it's not attractive.
I mean, a massive star, first of all, it's hard to put out in Lego, and I'm hoping that they put out another Death Star in the near future with some modern pieces, but it looks intimidating. The engineering is, well, I'd say outside of this galaxy, but that's obvious. But it's cool. It's intimidating. It's imposing, and it's just like, how are you not drawn? Like, just imagine yourself sitting in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and you're coming up to this in episode 4, and you're just like, what is that? It's something you've never seen before, and you're drawn to it. You want to, I know I'm supposed to leave, but I can't look away.
I mean, I get that from the movie, but not from the Lego set.
All right, we have one more left. I think you all know which one this is, and I really am curious what you're going to say about this, okay? Ready?
So the Millennium Falcon, it's really detailed, really big. I can tell, I'm sure they've used amazing nice parts usage, because there's all these little bumps on it and things. And they've got, I'm sure, amazing techniques. But in the end, I can't see why anybody would really want it.